Restaurant food prices in Korea have jumped more than 20% over the past 5 years, outpacing overall consumer prices, with kimbap and hamburgers seeing the largest price increases.
지난 5년간 국내 외식 물가가 20% 넘게 오르면서 전체 소비자 물가 상승률을 웃돈 가운데 특히 김밥과 햄버거의 인상폭이 가장 큰 것으로 나타났습니다.
Yeah, more evidence that eating out is becoming more expensive. According to Statistics Korea, the Consumer Price Index, the CPI, for restaurant food reached 124.56 last month, and that's a 25% increase since 2020, so 5 years ago during the same period. If you look at overall consumer prices, not just restaurant food, but overall, there's been a 16% rise during that same time span. So that means that restaurant food prices are rising much quicker than overall prices in consumers. And if you look at by the category of food, like the headline suggests, kimbap and hamburgers saw a 38 and 37% increase respectively. Other food staples like tteokbokki, jjajangmyeon, ramyeon, these all grew in excess of 30%. So if you thought it's getting more expensive, it is.
It is, absolutely. Some of the terms that really caught my eye in the Korean newspapers was lunchflation.
Lunchflation.
Yeah, so it's because, people will feel it every time you go out for lunch. You think, is lunch more expensive now than it was a couple of years ago? And it is. It really is.
It definitely is. And that's a good indicator because just for the regular sort of office worker and just any worker in general, they depend on eating out for lunch, especially. Of course, going out with your entire team, 부장님, of course, always has to select the menu or what they're going to eat. But that happens. And of course, things like jjajangmyeon. I always, we talked about the Big Mac index before, but I always like to use jjajangmyeon as a sort of barometer to see just how expensive things are. And it's hard to find jjajangmyeon under man won, under 10,000 won these days.
It used to be a lot cheaper a long, long time ago.
You're sounding very old when you say that. Back in my day, a bowl of jjajangmyeon was only 50 won.
Exactly. So depending on how much you remember the jjajangmyeon to be, that really dates you, doesn't it?
Yeah, I think it does.
오케이. 자, 전반적인 소비자 물가가 지난 5년간 16% 오른 것에 비해서 외식 물가는 20% 이상, 25%나 올랐다고 합니다. 그만큼 외식 물가가 일반 그냥 전반적인 물가보다 더 많이 올랐다라는 얘기인데요. 앞지르다, 웃돌다 이런 표현이 나옵니다. Let's look at outpacing.
Yeah, to outpace as a verb here. So the pace of something would be the rate or the speed of something. So if you outpace something, you're going faster or you're rising quicker or you're improving faster than something. Like in this story, food prices or restaurant food prices are outpacing just overall consumer prices.
A lot of people like running these days. running 할 때 우리가 페이스 조절한다고 하잖아요. 그래서 페이스 잘 아실 거예요. 그 속도를 outpacing 한다는 것은 더 빨리 앞서 나간다는 뜻이 있습니다.
Yeah, and I know that there's a word called overpace in Korean, where
is that English?
That's the thing. I think it's a little Konglish because when you overpace yourself, you can use it in a sentence like that. It makes sense where you're when you run too quickly at the beginning and you get too tired. So I think it's commonly used as overpace. But it's not as commonly used in English. But nonetheless, the word pace is in there. So
I'm not seeing it in the dictionary.
Yeah, but it's used in Korean very often. Where overpace하다, where you outpace yourself.
그래, 무슨 말인지 알겠어요. 이게 어쩌면 콩글리시일 수도 있겠습니다. 달리기 하시는 분들은 이제 익숙한 단어일 텐데 일단은 페이스가 들어간 outpace라는 것은 확실한 영어 단어고 앞서간다, 속도가 더 빨리 간다라는 뜻이 있어서 지금 전체 소비자 물가보다 외식 소비자 물가가 더 높다라는 얘기가 되겠어요. So let's look at 전반적인 소비자 물가.
Yeah, like it suggests overall as one word, right? So it's taking everything into account. So when we're talking about overall consumer prices, we're talking about all consumer prices, all consumer items.
Yes, exactly. Well, I had jjajangmyeon yesterday, actually.
Did you?
Yeah.
Yeah.
It was expensive.
It was expensive. Yeah, and for a family of four, just 4 bowls of jjajangmyeon is 40,000 won right there, right?
There you go. All right. But it was good, I have to say. It was delicious.
Then it's then
all right?
it's okay then.
Okay.
Yeah.
Some things, balance things out. All right. Well, here's the headline one more time. Restaurant food prices in Korea have jumped more than 20% over the past 5 years, outpacing overall consumer prices, with kimbap and hamburgers seeing the largest price increases. Let's move on to the second headline.
The National Weather Agency issued its first heat wave advisory of the season Sunday for parts of Gyeonggi Province, 5 days later than last year, but with rain in the forecast, the advisory is expected to be short-lived.
올여름 첫 폭염주의보가 지난해보다 닷새 늦은 어제 경기도 6개의 시군에 내려졌습니다. 하지만 곧 비가 예고되어 있어 폭염주의보가 오래 유지되진 않을 것으로 보입니다. 실제로 비가 경기도 많은 지역에 어젯밤부터 왔고요. 남부지방은 이미 비를 많이 지금 경험하고 있습니다. Let's have a look at the story. What's happening with the weather?
Yeah, so the National Weather Agency, aka the Korea Meteorological Administration, issued this heat wave advisory. And heat wave advisories are issued when the temperature reaches 33 degrees Celsius or higher for 2 days straight or more. So there's been prolonged hot weather in these areas. And specifically, it was for sort of the northern and eastern parts of Gyeonggi Province, areas like Pocheon, Gapyeong, Paju, Anseong, Yeoju, Yangpyeong, right, around Seoul here.
Yes.
If you look at it compared to last year, the first advisory came 5 days actually later than last year. So last year, the heat came much earlier, but nonetheless, it's still very hot where we are as well, I think.
Yeah, exactly. 그래요. 어제 그런데 이제 이 폭염주의보가 내려졌을 당시에 비 예보도 있었거든요. Rain was in the forecast.
Yeah, so when we say rain is expected, we say it's in the forecast, right? Because the forecast would be sort of a report made by weather officials. So we say that rain is in the forecast, meaning that the probability of precipitation, right, is that of it occurring in a specific location over a period of time. Basically means it's going to rain.
Yeah, exactly.
Yeah.
It's gonna rain. 또 다른 말로 rain is in the forecast. 비가 예고되어 있다. 비 예보가 있다. 그리고 참고로요. 어떤 이제 폭염주의보가 발령됐다라든지 내려졌다라든지 할 때 issue라는 동사를 씁니다. 그래서 this heat wave advisory has been issued. 그렇지만 오랫동안 이 폭염주의보가 가지는 않을 것으로 이미 예상이 됐었어요. It was expected to be short-lived.
Right, because the heat didn't last a long time. So if something
right.
is short-lived, it's hyphenated in adjective form. So short hyphen lived means something that lasts only for a short or brief period of time. Right?
오래 가지 못하는
Yeah.
short-lived.
Yeah. You could say like the social media star's fame was
was-
short-lived, right? After everybody saw the next video.
Be short-lived. 오래 가지 못했다. 자, 그럼 다시 한번 제가 읽어보겠습니다. The National Weather Agency issued its first heatwave advisory of the season Sunday for parts of Gyeonggi Province, 5 days later than last year. But with rain in the forecast, the advisory is expected to be short-lived.
Search and recovery operations continued over the weekend at the site of one of India's worst aviation disasters, where an Air India plane crashed into a residential area shortly after takeoff, leaving at least 270 dead.
인도 역사상 최악의 항공 재난 중 하나로 기록될 에어 인디아 항공기 추락 사고 현장에서 주말 내내 수색 및 구조 작업이 이어졌습니다. 이 사고는 지난주 에어 인디아 항공기가 이륙 직후 주거 지역에 추락한 것으로 지금까지 최소 270명의 사망자가 발생한 것으로 알려졌습니다.
Yeah.
Tell us more.
Yeah, so this horrific accident occurred on Thursday when this plane bound for London actually fell into a residential area just shortly after takeoff.
Yeah.
I believe it only had about 30 seconds in the air when
Right.
it crashed
Less than a
into
minute.
less than a minute into this residential area. So 242 people were on board. One person on board miraculously survived this accident and actually walked out of the debris already under his
Right.
own power and
Right,
walked
right.
into an ambulance, and he is recovering from some minor injuries, it seems. But also, not just the people on board, but about at least 29 people on the ground at this sort of hostel for medical students
Right.
perished in this accident as well. So right now, what Indian authorities are doing is they haven't grounded all the flights for this Boeing 787 Dreamliner. It's a very modern jet. It's the first incident and crash of this precise aircraft.
Right.
And so there is an investigation going on. But 8 of the 34 Dreamliner aircrafts in India have already gone under inspection. And of course, for the family members, this is going to be very, very tough to get through. You know, we've talked about air crash incidents on the show as well. But investigators are leaving, they're starting on a blank slate. Now, there are
Right.
many theories out there, but of
They've
course.
recovered the black box, though.
They have,
Yeah.
and that's usually the first step in the investigation. But there are many theories out there, but I think it's very irresponsible to speculate on what
Right.
the actual cause of is until we get a full picture into what caused this deadly crash.
네, 그래요. 그 비행기가 이륙한 지 1분도 채 되지 않은 그런 시간 만에 추락을 했습니다. 그런데 또 추락한 곳이 주거 지역이라고 헤드라인에서는 지금 말씀을 드렸지만 좀 더 구체적으로 말씀을 드리자면은 어떤 의대 기숙사였습니다. 그래서 많은 그 의대 학생들이 참변을 당한 것으로 이렇게 추정이 되고 있는 상황이고요. 기내에는 242명이 탑승하고 있었는데 한 명이 기적적으로 살아났습니다. 그래서
Yeah.
241명의 안타깝게 이제 사망자가 나왔고 그 외에도 지금 얘기한 대로 주거 지역에서도 많은 부상자와 사망자가 나와서 총 지금까지 270명의 사망자가 파악이 된 그런 안타까운 상황입니다. This is another aviation disaster.
Yeah, one of India's worst aviation disasters
Yeah.
in history. We say when there's something like this, an air crash accident occurs, we call it an aviation disaster. Aviation is comes from the word avis in Latin, meaning bird. So anything dealing with the air industry, the airline industry, we say the aviation industry or
Right.
the airline industry. And a disaster is, of course, an incident resulting usually in a large number of fatalities or significant damage.
Aviation refers to planes. Avian refers to birds.
Yep.
But the root, as you said, they all come from the root, which
Yep.
is a bird, something that
Yes.
flies. 우리가 bird flu의 또 다른 말로 avian influenza라고 하죠. avian이 그 이제 새와 관련됐다라는 의미인데 aviation의 어원도 새입니다만 이제 여기서는 항공기의 뜻을 가지고 있습니다. 그래서 aviation disaster, 항공 재난이고요. What's a residential area?
Yeah, a residential area would be an area of a part of a city or town where people live rather than where they work or shop. So in contrast, it'd be you have the residential area, but then in contrast, you have the commercial area.
Sure, like 여의도 is a
Very commercial
area. Yeah, exactly.
Although there are residential
Sure.
spots
Yeah.
in Yeouido too.
Definitely. Commercial area 그러면은 이제 상업 그 지역이 되겠죠. Residential area는 주택가가 되겠습니다.
Yeah.
자, 다시 한번 제가 읽어볼게요. Search and recovery operations continued over the weekend at the site of one of India's worst aviation disasters, where an Air India plane crashed into a residential area shortly after takeoff, leaving at least 270 dead. Let's move on to the next headline.
Israel launched a barrage of strikes on the heart of Iran's nuclear and military infrastructure Friday, deploying warplanes and drones to target key facilities and kill top generals and scientists, prompting Iran to retaliate with waves of ballistic missiles.
지난 금요일 이스라엘이 이란 핵시설과 군사 인프라 핵심 기지에 대한 대규모 공습을 감행하면서 전투기와 드론을 동원해 주요 시설을 타격하고 고위 장성 및 과학자들을 제거한 것으로 알려졌습니다. 이에 이란도 탄도미사일 공격으로 즉각 보복에 나섰습니다. Well, the arch enemies, they're sort of still at war with each other. They're still striking and attacking each other as we speak, I believe.
Yeah, it's still ongoing
Yeah.
right now, especially considering that the region is already in a very high conflict situation with the war on Hamas.
Yeah.
But Israel really caught a lot of people off guard when they initiated this attack on Iran. They said it was necessary because Iran is getting closer to building an atomic weapon, and they actually targeted a lot of Iran's known nuclear facilities and targeted a lot of their top generals and scientists in doing so. And Iran immediately retaliating with drone attacks and ballistic missiles. There was video, of course, of strikes on Jerusalem and Tel Aviv as well. So it looks like there's ongoing airstrikes and intelligence operations. And the region right now is really kind of a hotbed for, it's like a tinderbox right now that's ready to explode. Because Israel has long threatened a strike on Iran. They don't want Iran to develop nuclear weapons, and U.S. administrations have tried to prevent it. But Donald Trump actually it seems like the U.S. authorities immediately came out saying that they had no part and no role in this initial attack by Israel. But it does seem like U.S. Intelligence officials were aware of it beforehand.
That is quite likely the scenario. Let's have a look at a barrage of strikes. I think you pronounce it a little differently.
Yeah, it's interesting how in the UK you say a barrage.
How do you say it?
A barrage. So the stress is on the second syllable.
Okay.
Right?
In England, barrage. In North America,
barrage.
Okay.
Right?
It's Barrage. What does it mean?
Yeah, so a barrage of something would be a continuous attack of something. So usually in a military context, it's a concentrated sort of artillery bombardment. Bombard is another similar word as barrage, where you attack continuously. So when you have a barrage of attacks, that means there's a widespread sort of continuous attack.
Exactly. So it's strike after strike after strike.
Yeah.
Continuous strikes.
Exactly. So when I walk into my house after a long day of work, my wife attacks me with a barrage of requests and chores.
I'm sure
can you do this?
They're lovely.
Can you do that?
Chores and requests.
Saying, honey, please, can I put my bag down first?
자, a barrage of something. 연속적으로 계속 무언가가 일어난다라는 의미인데요. 대체적으로는 사격의 의미로 많이 씁니다. 그래서 그냥 한 번에 스트라이크를 한 게 아니고요. 수십 번, 수백 번 이렇게 계속 이어지는 그런 게 연상이 되죠. Let's have a look at prompting someone to do something.
Yeah, so if something prompts A to do B, it means they caused it, right?
Yeah.
So you either cause it, or in a more positive light, you're encouraging someone to do something or provoking someone to take action. So if you incite something, you could say you're prompting it. A computer prompt, if you do coding or language, it's sort of a command or an order, right?
It's a very important word in today's AI world. 우리 AI 챗봇 이용할 때요. 뭐뭐뭐 해줘 이렇게 지시어, 명령어 이런 거 입력하죠. 영어로는 prompt라고 부릅니다. 그런 지시어들을요. 그래서 prompt A to do B. A로 하여금 B를 하게 하다라는 뜻이 있어요. P-R-O-M-P-T. In this case, Israel launched a barrage of strikes, and then Iran was prompted to retaliate.
Right. So that caused Iran to retaliate or to take revenge, right? But prompt has a different meaning as well. If, as an adjective, it means someone that's early.
Right.
Punctual.
A prompt response.
Yes, an early, quick response.
Thank you for your prompt response. 빠르게 답변해 주셔서 감사합니다.
Right.
빠르다라는 형용사의 의미도 있어요.
Right. Now, as a noun, there's a meaning of as a hint or a cue. So our producer will give us a prompt to start the show, for example.
Right, exactly.
A reminder.
아까 얘기했던 그런 챗봇 이용할 때도 마찬가지로 이 명사 형태의 prompt를 지시어 아니면 지시 이렇게 제스처 이런 의미로도 볼 수 있는데요. 제스처 같은 경우는 이제 챗봇은 못하지만 우리 방송을 할 경우에는 PD님이 이제 여러 가지 이제 우리한테 이렇게 빨리 해라, 느리게 해라, 시작해라, 멈춰라 이런 거 다 프롬프팅을 해주신단 말이에요.
Be careful though. AI will probably be able to do that soon.
No.
Probably.
Is
Who knows?
she going to be replaced by AI in the future? Will we have an AI PD?
Right. Who knows?
Don't know. We'll have AI people doing radio in the future. Who knows? Oh my goodness. All right, prompt라는 단어 봤습니다. 자, 그러면 다시 한번 제가 읽어볼게요. Israel launched a barrage of strikes on the heart of Iran's nuclear and military infrastructure Friday, deploying warplanes and drones to target key facilities and kill top generals and scientists, prompting Iran to retaliate with waves of ballistic missiles. Now let's move on to the final headline.
A man from the U.S. state of Florida has been found guilty of fraud after pretending to be a flight attendant for 6 years, allowing him to take over 120 free flights across 4 different airlines.
6년 동안 승무원으로 위장해 4개 항공사에서 120회가 넘는 무료 항공편을 이용해온 미국 플로리다주의 한 남성이 사기 혐의로 유죄 판결을 받았습니다.
Yeah.
What happened here?
A very brazen act here.
Oh, you
This
don't
man
say.
was actually is facing now a maximum sentence of 20 years in prison for wire fraud charges and up to 10 years for these charges of entering a restricted airport area under false pretenses when he began working for an unnamed airline back in 2015.
He did.
He was never employed as a flight attendant, so or a pilot. So he was an employee, but not actually on board planes. But he used different badge numbers and false employment dates, and he was actually able to hack into the company's internal system, because a lot of flight attendants and pilots are allowed, they get benefits and perks.
That's how he knew the how to use the system. Though,
Exactly.
because-
So,
yeah, okay.
So what he did was he accessed the booking systems here, and he claimed these free travel benefits meant for airline staff. So I don't think he was actually dressed as a flight attendant. He may have been, but he actually got free tickets
Right.
through his
Because
connection.
flight attendants, they can get free tickets and they don't have to be dressed. In fact,
Yeah.
when they're not on duty,
Right.
they can oftentimes ask if there's any empty seats and they will get the free flights. So,
Right.
they're entitled to that.
You know, a lot of jobs offer benefits for
Perks.
F&F, they
Sure,
say, right? Friends
sure.
and family,
Yep.
where you can get discounts. I have
That's right.
friends and acquaintances who do work in the airline industry as flight attendants and pilots, and that is a very big perk, being allowed to, or getting discounts on travel
Yeah.
all around the world.
그래요. 이름이 어떻게 되죠?
The gentleman is known as Tyron Alexander.
그래요. 35세라고 합니다.
Yeah.
지난 6년 동안 120회가 넘는 무료 항공편을 어떻게 하다 보니까 이용해 왔는데 참 들키지 않고 어떻게 6년 동안이나 승무원으로 위장을 했는지 모르겠어요. 근데 알고 보니 그 예전에 항공사에 취직을 한 적이 있었대요. 그렇지만 파일럿이거나 승무원은 아니었고 항공사에 어쨌든 취직을 하다 보니 그 이제 내부 시스템을 알게 된 겁니다.
Yeah.
그래서 승무원들은 이렇게 뭐 신청을 하면 프리 플라이트를 얻을 수 있구나라는 정보를 얻고 그 다음에 퇴사를 했나 보죠? 더 이상
Well,
일하진 않았겠죠?
I think for now he is for
네,
sure.
그래서 뭐 구체적인 건 나와 있지는 않습니다만 기사 속에. 그래서 그런 정보를 악용한 거죠. 그동안 이렇게나 오래 무료 항공편을 이용하다가 적발이 됐고 유죄 판결 받았고요. He has been convicted. 그리고 20년 형이 지금 구형이 된 상태가 되겠습니다. 아까 얘기했던 이제 혐의들 중에 wire fraud라는 거를 이제 전신 사기라고도 하고 통신망 사기라고도 합니다. 그 다음에는 아까 뭐였죠? False pretenses?
Yeah, so the second charge was illegally entering airport areas.
네, 그래요. 그래서 그 보면은 그 항공 그 승무원들이나 이런 이제 관계자들만 갈 수 있는 지역이 있어요. Restricted zone. 거기에 이제 위장을 하면서 들어간 것에 대한 혐의도 역시 이번에 유죄 판결 받았습니다. He's been found guilty.
Yeah, so to be found guilty of something, this is in the passive form, right? What's left out there is usually by a jury or judge. It's when someone's been officially judged to have committed a crime or a wrongdoing, typically in a court, right?
Exactly. 자, 유죄 판결을 받다. Be found guilty or be convicted of something. 그 다음에 what did he do? He pretended to be a flight attendant.
Yeah, so if you pretend, it means you're speaking and acting to make it appear that you're something or someone else, right? You're impersonating or faking or mimicking, posing as someone, right?
Yeah.
Masquerading.
그러니까요. 영화 속에만 나오는 건 줄 알았는데
Yeah.
리오나르도 디카프리오가 Catch Me If You Can에서
Yes.
처음에 이제 그 비행기를 무료로 타는 거 시도할 때 이런 식으로 하잖아요.
Right.
그리고 뭐 이렇게 그냥 굉장히 뻔뻔스럽게 태연하게 플라이트 뭐 비는 좌석 있나요? 자 여기 항공 직원인데 그래서 있습니다. 얼른 타세요. 그래서 그냥 탁 타잖아요.
Yeah.
그런 거랑 뭐 비슷한 것 같은데 이건 실제입니다.
Yeah. That movie, tell me if I'm wrong, that was also Boats, right? Based on a true
Based
story.
on a true
Was
story?
it? Okay,
Yes,
yeah.
yes, that's
so they
right.
say just act as you belong, right?
yeah.
Pretend to be there.
Exactly. 자, pretend to be someone. 누구인 척하다. 다시 한번 읽어보겠습니다. A man from the US state of Florida has been found guilty of fraud after pretending to be a flight attendant for 6 years, allowing him to take over 120 free flights across 4 different airlines. Well, that's it for the headlines this morning with Shane Harm.
Korea has confirmed a case of highly pathogenic avian influenza at a duck farm in Sosan in South Chungcheong province, marking the first June case of bird flu in 8 years.
충남 서산의 한 오리 농장에서 고병원성 조류 인플루엔자가 확진됐습니다. 주로 겨울철에 발생하는 고병원성 조류 인플루엔자가 6월에 확인된 사례는 지난 2017년 이후 8년 만입니다. So another case of bird flu, but this time at a duck farm, and the first in June in 8 years.
Yeah, since 2017. Normally when we think of bird flu, we think of the winter.
Yeah.
So yes, this is an unusual case. It's at a duck farm in Sosan, 28,000 ducks. There was an inspection prior to shipping the ducks off for slaughter where they found it. The last case before that was 56 days ago at a chicken farm in Asan, South Chungcheong province. And the Ministry of Agriculture, Food and Rural Affairs have said there have only been 45 cases of this kind of highly pathogenic bird flu reported in June since we had the very first outbreak 22 years ago in 2003. That said, when it comes to where we are in crisis response, we're at the third lowest level. There's a 4-tier system, and they've moved us just from from attention to caution.
Mm-hmm. So this case has been confirmed. Let's look at that term first of all.
Yes, we use this word a lot. Sometimes with government telling us what is right, what is factual, what is correct, and sometimes when we're confirming when we're trying to make sure that something is done already. So, for example, if you asked me, Paul, can you confirm your age for me? And I say, well, I'm 47. I'm letting you know the real fact. I'm confirming it for you. Or I might also confirm my hotel booking to make sure they don't give the room to someone else.
확인하다. 아니면 확정하다의 의미가 있죠. 외래어로도 많이 쓰긴 하는 것 같아요. 우리 이제 뭐 서류 같은 거를 컨펌 해주시겠어요? 이런 얘기 가끔 외래어로도 쓰는데 그게 이 단어입니다. confirm, C-O-N-F-I-R-M, 확인하다, 확정하다. In this case, a case of bird flu has been confirmed. 그래서 조류독감 사례가 지금 이제 확인이 된 그런 상황이죠. 확진 판정이 나온 것인데요. 한 오리 농장에서 이 고병원성 조류독감입니다. 고병원성. Highly pathogenic.
Yes. So highly means very, extremely, and pathogenic means it's spreading and causing disease. And we use this when it's a microorganism or a virus that spreads very, very easily. So whenever it's highly pathogenic, we have to be very, very careful because lots of other birds could get it.
Exactly. How do you spell pathogenic?
Oh, that's a tricky one, Sue, but it's okay. P-A-T-H-O-G-E-N-I-C.
네. pathogen이라는 단어 우리 코로나 바이러스 얘기하면서도 참 많이 언급했었는데요. 이게 그 병원균을 얘기합니다. 그래서 이게 pathogenic라고 하면은 그런 이제 병원성이 되겠고 앞에 highly가 붙어서 고병원성이 되겠습니다.
Should say we don't say lowly pathogenic.
No.
Yeah, we don't use it in the opposite
right.
sense.
There's just pathogenic and highly pathogenic.
Yes.
Okay, well, here's the headline one more time. Korea has confirmed a case of highly pathogenic avian influenza at a duck farm in Seosan in South Chungcheong province, marking the first June case of bird flu in 8 years. Let's move on to the second headline.
Some 40,000 tourists in Israel have been stranded after the country closed its airspace to all civilian traffic and grounded all flights indefinitely due to the ongoing conflict with Iran.
이란과 교전을 계속하고 있는 이스라엘이 민간 항로를 전면 봉쇄하고 모든 항공편의 운항을 무기한 중단시키면서 약 4만 명의 관광객이 현지에 고립된 상태인 것으로 전해졌습니다. 여기서 약 4만 명 할 때 영어로는 some 40,000 tourists.
Yeah, around 40,000 tourists, approximately 40,000 tourists. All
Or
of them work.
about.
Yes.
다 약이라는 뜻이 있죠. So tell us more.
Well, this all kicked off last Friday, where we had a preemptive strike by Israel on Iran's nuclear facilities. And we've seen, well, further disruption over the weekend and into the start of this week. And that means Israel has decided to cancel all flights until further notice.
Right.
And that means these tourists who were perhaps expecting disruptions because of the war in Gaza are now facing a difficult decision. Do they wait until the airports are reopened, until the
Right.
flights are not grounded, or do they try and get out another way?
So their holiday plans have pretty much been upended.
Yeah, well, the other thing is you've got museums have been closed until further notice. Shops are shuttered. Certain tourist attractions
Yeah, I
are
mean-
not available.
Exactly. You're not exactly going to be walking around doing touristy stuff when there are airstrikes going on.
Of course not. You're going to be heading to the nearest shelter if you need to.
Yep.
The other thing is, if you want to get out by land, then your option pretty much, or at least the easiest option, is to go to Jordan and then fly out of Amman Airport. But that again has its own risks and it's also quite costly. So we'll see what happens. These tourists certainly, I don't think they were expecting their holiday to end up this way.
Well, it says that Israel closed its airspace to all civilian traffic.
Yes.
What does that mean?
Well, civilian meaning it's not government or military.
Right.
So we're talking about ordinary passenger planes, charter planes, or cargo planes that are not run by the Israeli government or the Israeli military.
네, 민간 이제 통행, 교통 이런 의미겠죠. 직역을 한다면은 civilian traffic, 즉 이제 민간 항공기는 전혀 지금 뭐 이륙하거나 착륙하거나 할 수 없다는 얘기가 되겠어요. Of course, military operations have been ongoing, as we know,
yes.
in their airspace, but you won't have any civilian aircraft flying in the airspace, I think, for the time being. And flights have therefore been grounded.
Yeah, we hear this term a lot whenever there is very bad weather or a natural disaster of some kind or war. Because if flights are grounded, it means planes are not allowed to take off. They
Right.
must stay on the ground. Hence, they are grounded.
이륙 못하게 하는 거를 be grounded라고 얘기하죠. 우리가 이제 비행기에 관해서 얘기할 때는 그렇게 이해를 하면 되고요. 학생, 뭐 아이들한테 you're grounded 그러면은 무슨 뜻일까요?
Well, it means you're not allowed to go out. You have to stay at home.
그죠. 외출 금지입니다. 외국에서는 부모님들이 많이 내리는 벌 중에 하나거든요. 그래서 이제 뭐 외출 금지 어떤 때는 뭐 방에서 못 나오게 할 수도 있고요. 뭐 몇 시간 동안 아니면은 이제 집에서 못 나가는 거죠.
네.
친구도 못 만나고 뭐 이런 식으로. 근데 요즘은 사실 어차피 밖에 많이 안 나가긴 해요. 왜냐면 다 인터넷으로 친구들 만나고 이러니까.
Well,
그래서
you could be grounded online.
맞아요. 그럴 것 같아요. 요즘에 grounded라고 하면 아마 인터넷 사용 금지 이렇게 시킬 것 같아요.
Yeah, there's also another meaning. If I say I'm feeling grounded, it means I don't have my head in the clouds. I'm feeling very centered. I'm feeling very safe and secure.
Okay.
In terms of mental health, this is a word that's used sometimes to mean I'm feeling good. I'm feeling like I know what's going on and what's happening with me.
그러니까 그때 grounded는 굉장히 좋은 뜻이네요.
네.
I'm feeling grounded는 그러니까 뭐 구름 위에 머리가 이게 붕 떠 있는 느낌이 아니라 땅에 이게 탁 착지해서 정말 그냥 좀 현실감 있게
네.
그렇게 생활도 하고 사고도 하고 그러는 느낌 I'm very grounded라고 하는데 특히 우리 연예인에 관해서 that person's very down to earth or very grounded
Yeah, you seem
이러면은
very grounded too.
굉장히 칭찬이에요. 왜냐하면 보통 뭐 저는 연예인은 아니지만
진짜요?
슈퍼스타 같은 경우에는 보통 사람들이랑 많이 다르다고 우리가 생각을
네.
하는데 그 중에도 보면 그냥 보통 사람처럼 마트에 가서 장도 보고 그 다음에 옆집 사람이랑 인사도 하고 이런 they're very down to earth 이렇게
Yeah.
표현하죠. 오케이, 자 다시 한번 읽어보겠습니다. Some 40,000 tourists in Israel have been stranded after the country closed its airspace to all civilian traffic and grounded all flights indefinitely due to the ongoing conflict with Iran.
Holidaymakers in cities across southern Europe have been sprayed by water pistols by protesters seeking to draw attention to rising housing costs and the environmental toll of mass tourism.
유럽 남부 여러 도시에서 대규모 관광으로 촉발된 주거비 급등 및 환경 문제를 비판하는 시위가 이어진 가운데 일부 관광객들은 시위대가 쏜 물총에 맞기도 한 것으로 알려졌습니다. Some Korean tourists in the southern cities have complained about being shot or fired at but with the water guns.
Now it should be said there are worse ways to protest, I think. I think
Yeah.
they're doing it safely, but they're making a
Right.
point. And it's all over Western Europe. We're talking Venice, Milan, Lisbon, San Sebastian, Valencia, Barcelona, and the Balearic Islands all on June 15th had these large-scale demonstrations by the Southern Europe against touristification, which is not a word I say
So
often.
over tourism, mass tourism. Yeah.
We've seen last year we had in Barcelona similar protests with water being sprayed on people, and it's a way for them to say over tourism is too much for us.
Yeah.
And we've had issues in Spain, for example, with people not being able to afford housing because houses and apartments are being rented out short term for tourists, for visitors. So there's a lot of displeasure among some local people about the over-tourism in these areas.
Yeah. Well, the holiday makers there are, they're not obviously protesting. In fact, some of them are being attacked.
Yeah, they're being protested against.
Yes.
Holidaymaker for me feels quite British because we use the word holiday in the UK not just to mean Christmas or Easter or Chuseok, but to mean taking a trip somewhere for pleasure.
What North Americans call vacation.
Exactly. So I guess in America, a holidaymaker would be a vacationer.
Oh, yeah, that's right.
So a holidaymaker is not someone who's making anything, but that just means they're going on a trip for pleasure.
휴가를 간 사람입니다. 휴가 객이죠. 영어로 holiday maker or vacationer 다 마찬가지고 지역에 따라서 좀 다르게 표현을 하는데 보통 이제 방학도 미국이랑 캐나다에서는 vacation, 영국에서는 holiday라고 하고요.
네.
북미권에서 holiday라고 하면은 제일 많이 떠오르는 게 크리스마스 명절이에요.
Yeah, or Thanksgiving.
네,
Happy
그렇죠.
holidays.
네, 이렇게 holiday라는 단어가 여러 가지 의미가 있는데 holiday maker는 그냥 이제 휴가를 떠난 사람들이 되겠습니다. 관광객이라고 해도 되겠고요. Well, the protesters are trying to draw attention.
Now, Sue, I think this phrase is very important, and I'd like us to take a close and in-depth look at draw attention to.
Really?
Now, have I grabbed your focus?
You have.
Are you now concentrating on this phrase?
I am so into this, I want to know.
Then I've drawn attention to
Yes.
it. Yes, if you draw attention to something, you're pulling the focus to that thing. So it might be a scientist is drawing attention to a new species they found,
Yeah.
or it might be a politician drawing attention to a problem, or it might be Sue drawing attention to a grammatical mistake.
Drawing means pulling in this case. So you can draw attention, you can draw crowds. What else can you draw? in this
Sometimes
case?
on the radio, I draw focus.
Okay.
Listeners should be listening to you, but I make a silly joke.
No, that's good. So drawing은 이렇게 끌어당기는 그런 의미가
네.
있어요. 그래서 draw attention이라는 것은 사람들의 이목을 집중시킨다라는 의미로 볼 수 있겠고, draw focus 아니면 draw crowds라고 하면은 사람들의 역시나 집중이네요. 집중하게끔 하는 것 아니면은 사람들이 많이 몰려들게 하는 것들을 또 drawing something이라고 하죠.
Yeah, if you're an entrepreneur, you want to draw investors.
Oh, that's good. Yes, 맞아요. 투자자들을 또 이제 끌어당기는 그런 사업을 하면 좋죠. 투자금을 많이 받고 사업을 크게 확장시킬 수 있을 테니까. So draw의 의미가 그렇게 끌어당기다인데 여기서 draw attention이라는 것은 관심을 끈다는 뜻입니다. That's what the protesters are doing with the water pistols. 물총을 가지고.
I mean, not pleasant for those who were protested at, but certainly not as dangerous as some other protests we've seen around the world.
Exactly. 자, 다시 한번 그러면 읽어보겠습니다. Holidaymakers in cities across southern Europe have been sprayed by water pistols by protesters seeking to draw attention to rising housing costs and the environmental toll of mass tourism. Let's move on to the next headline.
Asteroid 2024YR4 is back in the spotlight after NASA reported a slight increase in its chances of hitting the moon in 2032, with the odds now at 4.3%.
소행성 2024YR4가 2032년에 달과 충돌할 가능성이 최초 발견 당시보다 다수 높아진 4.3%라고 미국 항공우주국 나사가 발표함에 따라 해당 소행성에 다시 관심이 쏠리고 있습니다. So initially when they discovered this asteroid, I think they said the chances of it hitting the moon or the Earth was like 1% or
Yeah,
something.
very, very
Yeah.
low. But
Yeah.
in January and February, after it was discovered at the end of December, those odds went up from 1 to 1.2% and then to 3.1%. And now it's 4.3% that it will hit the moon, and it could still possibly hit the Earth.
The chances are just getting higher and higher.
Yeah, good news for us, though, is that we are probably not in the potential impact zone.
Right.
It's Eastern Pacific, Northern South America, Africa, and Southern Asia. However, if it does crash into the Earth, we could see all sorts of tsunamis. If it hits a city, there could be, well, some minor structural damage.
It's because it's quite big.
Well-
It's as big as a 10-story building, they say.
Big as an apartment block. Yeah,
그러니까요.
53 to 67 meters wide.
Yeah.
But we shall have to wait and see. It's still a low chance that it will
Yes.
hit us.
4% is still low.
And I have to say, there have been many asteroids and meteors in the past that have supposedly been going to hit us and then never did.
Right.
So I don't think we can panic quite yet.
그래요. 뭐 여전히 4.3%도 충돌 가능성으로 봤을 때는 낮은 확률이기 때문에 뭐 달과 충돌할 가능성이 많지는 않지만 그래도 애초에 얘기했던 한 1% 정도에서 2%, 3% 계속 지금 확률이 올라가고 있는 모습이기 때문에 이러다 진짜 충돌하는 거 아니야? 더군다나 이 아스트로이드의 크기가 10층 건물 정도나 되는 꽤나 큰 아스트로이드라고 합니다. 그래서 걱정을 하고는 있지만 But if you flip this around, there's still like a 95% chance it will not collide with the moon.
And we've always
Or the
got
Earth.
Ben
Yeah.
Affleck to go up there and save the world.
What movie was that?
Armageddon.
Armageddon, yes. Oh gosh. Okay, it's back in the spotlight.
Yes, if something is, or someone is back in the spotlight, it means the attention is on them again, or they're famous again. For example, if you pay attention to K-dramas, Squid Game is back in the spotlight because the third and final part of it is coming out and they've been doing lots of press, which means the attention, the focus has been drawn towards them, hence back in the spotlight.
So back means it has returned.
Yeah, was there at one point, then wasn't, and now is again.
Exactly. There are many songs with the word back in it. Back for good.
Yes.
That means I've returned and this time I'm going to stay with you forever, basically.
Exactly. The Beatles back in the USSR, and then their return to the Soviet Union.
Right, exactly. So, Back to the Future. That
Well, it's
means...
not a song, but a movie.
No, that's true. Actually, it's not a song. Sorry. In pop culture.
Yes.
So Back to the Future means, was it Marty?
Marty McFly.
Yeah, he gets the kid to go back into the future.
No, he doesn't.
No?
Doc Brown.
Oh, sorry.
Doc Brown needs to be saved by Marty McFly, who goes to the past.
I don't remember.
And then gets stuck and so has to go back to the future again, which is the present. That was the present but is now the
Thank
future
you.
because he's in the past.
Yes, I don't know why I make references to things that I'm not sure of.
Neither do I. But yet I will sit here and explain them for you.
Because you see, I rely on you and I know that you will know.
Okay, back to the drawing board.
Back to the expression. 자, 그래서 back라는 게 다시라는 의미가 있다는 거 잘 아시죠? Back in the spotlight는 다시 주목을 받는다. Now, what's a slight thing?
Well, here we talk about a slight increase means a small increase. Yes, whenever we hear the word slight, it's going to be weak or small. When we refer to a person, a slight person will be someone who's very thin,
Yep.
not muscular, feeling like they're quite weak. So think of slight being small, and that'll serve you right each time.
약간의라는 뜻이 있거든요. 그래서 지금 이제 달과의 충돌 가능성이 약간 높아졌어요. 기존에 한 3% 정도대였다가 지금 이제 4.3%의 확률이 있다라고 얘기가 되고 있는데 처음에는 또 한 1%대였단 말이죠. 그래가지고 조금씩 이게 올라가고 있어요. The odds of it colliding with the moon are going up, but ever so slightly.
Yes, and it's 2032. We've got 7 years to go.
That's right. who knows how the chances will go up or down during that time.
Who knows
There's-
where
who
the
knows?
world will be in 7 years?
That's right. Here's the headline again. Asteroid 2024YR4 is back in the spotlight after NASA reported a slight increase in its chances of hitting the moon in 2032, with the odds now at 4.3%. Let's move on to the final headline.
The world's first store dedicated to humanoid AI robots is set to open in Beijing this August, establishing a service system that covers the entire life cycle of embodied intelligent robots.
중국 베이징에서 세계 최초의 휴머노이드 로봇 전문 매장이 오는 8월에 문을 열 예정이며 이로써 일명 체화지능 로봇의 모든 단계를 담당하는 서비스 시스템이 구축될 거라는 소식이 전해졌습니다. Ooh, okay.
Yeah, and it's going to be full service. It's going to be 4S, as they say. If you're familiar with automobile stores, with car stores,
what's that?
the
4S?
The 4S is sales, service, spare parts, and surveys. So basically, everything you need for your AI robot will be available there. I'm not sure what these robots will be, but certainly it'll be your one-stop shop. Where you can get your hands-on experiences, you can see what things are like, and well, it's in an area that's really hot when it comes to robotics. It's in Yizhuang, which is where they have over 300 robotics and smart manufacturing enterprises. We'll see what happens. I mean, it's the first of its kind. Will it be a huge hit? Will it be a huge flop? Only time will tell.
그래요. 여기서 이제 4S 서비스를 제공할 거다라고 했는데요. 이거 각각의 S를 우리말로 번역을 해보면은 sales, 판매, 그 다음에는 service, 뭐 이거는 또 뭐 수리가 되겠죠. 그 다음에 spare parts, 부품 교체, 그리고 survey는 이제 사용자 피드백 이런 게 될 텐데 그런 것들을 모두 다 다루고 있는 4S 스토어가 8월에 열릴 예정이라고 합니다.
I offer a 4D service.
What's the 4Ds?
Dine on delicious donuts daily.
Of course you had to have a donut in there. Okay, let's have a look at the word dedicated to something.
I'm dedicated to donuts, which means my sole focus in life is on donuts. If something is dedicated, or if someone is dedicated to something, that means they are concentrating on that thing, usually only that thing. So if you have a store dedicated to a particular product, that's all they sell. They're not going to sell anything else. If you have a store dedicated to electronics, you're not going to be able to buy apple juice there or teddy bears. You have to go to a different place.
뭐뭐 전용이네요. 그러면은 something dedicated to humanoid AI robots. 이거는 휴머노이드, 인간의 그 형체를 하고 있는 AI 로봇 전용 매장이란 뜻이고 What about embodied?
This is a curious term. This is a term being used in a slightly different way these days because we
Yeah.
talk about embodied robots or embodied AI robots, meaning that they're computers or AI that have a physical body. However, when we use the word embody, usually we're talking about something as a representation of something or shows the spirit of something.
Yeah. embody라는 단어가 지금 여기서는 그 체현이라는 의미로 그러니까 어떤 인간의 형체를 하고 있다라는 뜻으로 썼다고 볼 수 있겠죠. 그렇지만 기존에 우리가 쓰던 embody라는 단어는 우리 휴머노이드가 없던 시절에 또 많이 썼단 말이에요. 그럴 때는 뭔가 상징한다 이런 뜻으로 많이 썼어요. 지금도 그렇게 쓰고 있고 so let's say this statue embodies freedom or something like that.
Yeah, or a person can embody an ideal. Think of
Yes.
Martin Luther King and the civil rights movement.
Definitely. 그런 식으로 이게 상징한다 아니면은 뭐 보여준다 이런 의미로 참 많이 쓰기도 하는데 여기서는 embodied intelligent robot means it has a body. It looks like a human.
Yes,
It's a humanoid.
exactly.
Well, here's the headline one more time. The world's first store dedicated to humanoid AI robots is set to open in Beijing this August, establishing a service system that covers the entire life cycle of embodied intelligent robots. Well, that's it for the headlines.
Curiosity has emerged as the factor most strongly correlated with academic success among 15-year-old students in Korea, according to the latest program for international student assessment.
국제 학업 성취도 평가에서 우리나라 만 15세 학생들의 학업 성취 수준에 가장 큰 영향을 미치는 사회 정서 역량은 호기심인 것으로 나타났습니다. Oh, so does that mean curiosity can lead to better academic achievement?
Yes, and also it killed the cat. Remember?
Yes.
Curiosity killed the cat.
no.
If
You're
you know
making
that
Paul
saying,
very sad
but
now.
but are you a cat lover?
Oh, yeah, I have
Two,
two
he
cats.
has two
Don't
cats.
kill
I did
my
not know that.
cats.
I don't listen on Tuesdays.
What?
I will now, though.
Rub it in, Shane.
I'm just kidding. But anyways, this
Okay.
assessment is called PISA. It's the Program for International Student Assessment. It's
Yeah.
run by the Organization for Economic Cooperation and Development, aka the OECD,
Yes.
right? And it evaluates how 15-year-old students perform around the world and how they are prepared to adjust to society. And what they looked at alongside things like science, math, and creative thinking, the latest edition in 2022 assessed social emotional competencies such as curiosity, perseverance, emotional control,
Yeah.
and stress resistance. And it appears that Korean students score very high in curiosity. We're talking about high achieving Korean
Right,
students.
exactly. This is really interesting. 피사라고 하는 이제 학업 성취도 평가인데요. OECD에서 주관을 하고 있고 15세의 학생들이 전 세계적으로 어떤 역량을 가지고 있는지 이제 우수한 성적을 보이는 학생들의 그 역량을 분석하는 거죠. 우리나라 같은 경우에는 호기심이 많은 아이들이 학업 성취도도 높더라 이런 얘기입니다.
Right, so
그리고
it's
오늘
not-
호기심 많은 아이들 많이 왔거든요.
Yes.
아, 기대가 많이 됩니다.
So
네.
it's not just about studying and tests and books and math. It's also these things, these sort of creative thinking assessments, curiosity, perseverance. These are all indicators of how you perform in school.
Yeah, exactly. And I'm sure listeners out there, the first thing that they think of when they think of English is, I'm curious to know what this is, how to say this in English. So pretty much I would say all of our listeners are very curious beings.
Yeah, that means
Which is
you have
good.
you have questions.
Yeah,
And
yeah.
so to seek those answers, I think that's one way to improve English. If I'm
Oh, yeah, absolutely. I think in any part of your life, if you are curious, you can learn more.
Yeah.
And you can be better. Those who are not curious just stay the same
Yeah.
forever, and that's boring. And I think all our listeners here, because they're curious, they're changing and developing, and I hope we're curious too.
Yeah, Ray, you teach young students. Do you find that the more curious ones are the better ones?
Absolutely. Even if they're like, 장난꾸러기 or whatever, I don't really mind because they're interacting and they're interested, and
Yeah.
that's really how you learn. I think a lot of times from what I've experienced in Korea is everybody wants to be perfect. Everything is about perfection, but it's not. You learn from mistakes, and even English speakers make grammar mistakes, pronunciation mistakes sometimes. So that's not the most important thing. The most important thing is just putting yourself out there and
Yes.
trying.
I agree. Well, it says here that curiosity has emerged as the most important factor when it comes to Korean students.
Right. So emerge normally means to come out, to appear, to turn up. So what this study, what it showed, so what emerged from this study is that curiosity is very important. Right?
emerge라는 게 이게 뭔가 드러났다라는 뜻이네요,
Right.
여기서는.
We actually talked about this on a Monday a couple of weeks ago.
Did we?
And I explained how you can remember this word as 이모지?
아하, 그랬네요.
it pops up, it
갑자기
emerges.
뭔가 드러나서 우리 그냥 애벌레 생각해 보면은 애벌레가 이제 코쿤을 만들죠.
Yeah.
그래서 코쿤에서 그 다음에 나비가 이렇게 모습을 드러내는데, you could say that a butterfly emerges
Yeah.
from a cocoon. 모습을 드러내는 것, emerge라고 하고요. 자, 그 다음에 또 다른 표현이 있었죠. It's correlated with something.
Yeah, so if you break down this word, you see the word related in there, right? So there's some sort of relationship. And usually means two things, right?
Right.
So when two things are correlated, that means there's a cause and effect. They're connected. in that way.
보통 이제 correlated라고 하면은 상관관계가 있다, 관련이 있다라는 뜻이에요. 그래서 이 데이터에 따르면은 호기심이 있는 아이들과 학업 성취도 높은 아이들의 상관관계가 있더라. 이런 얘기가 되겠죠.
Yeah, so if I remember in science class, if there's a 비례관계, 정비례관계, there's a direct correlation. And
yes.
반비례 would be an indirect
Correlation. That's right.
From, if I remember my math
Oh, I'm sure.
teacher. Thank you.
Perfect. 자, 그러면은 이 두 가지 표현을 제가 선창을 하면은요, 여러분이 따라서 말하는 겁니다. 자, 드러나다, emerge. 뭐과 관련이 있다, correlated with. 좋습니다. 있습니다. Here's the headline again. Curiosity has emerged as the factor most strongly correlated with academic success among 15-year-old students in Korea, according to the latest program for international student assessment.
A Canadian man has scored his third lottery jackpot in less than 9 months, marking his fourth major win overall and bringing his total prize money to over $2.7 million.
캐나다의 한 남성이 9개월도 채 안 되는 기간에 3번이나 복권에 당첨된 것으로 전해졌습니다. 이로써 그는 지금까지 총 4번의 복권 당첨으로 270만 달러, 우리 돈으로 37억 원이 넘는 상금을 받은 것으로 알려졌습니다. Paul, correct me if I'm wrong, but the odds of winning the lottery
Well, they're
4 times...
To win once is astronomical. It's almost
yeah.
impossible to win the lottery. Very,
Yeah.
very few people do it. But to do it 3 times on the trot is astonishing. The 20th of August last year, the 16th of November last year, and then the 3rd of May this year.
And then many years ago, he
And then
also won.
a decade ago, he won $250,000.
Okay.
Then last August, $500,000. Last November, $1 million, and then another $1 million in May.
Wow.
He's a lucky, lucky man. He's also lucky in health because he's a cancer survivor. His name is David Sirkin. It's quite incredible that he's done this.
Yeah.
He really is one of the luckiest people alive, I
I would
think.
say so. Right. So he scored the lottery jackpot.
Yes, and if you score something, you get it. You win it. I'd like to think of football. You score a goal.
Yeah.
And that for me is the image of winning something or getting something. So if you're a big fan of Morning Special, maybe you scored a ticket to this morning show.
아하, to score. 우리 뭐 축구할 때도 score라는 단어 많이 들어보셨을 것 같아요. 점수를 낸다는 뜻도 있지만 이긴다라는 의미로 많이 쓰는데 score the lottery jackpot. lottery, 복권, jackpot는 그 상금이죠. 사실 lottery만 써도 돼요. 아니면 jackpot만 써도 돼요. 그런데 lottery 쓸 때는 보통 win the lottery.
네.
jackpot는 hit the jackpot. 이렇게 표현을 많이 하는데 여기서는 score the lottery jackpot.
Yes, you couldn't score the lottery though, I think.
No,
That
no.
you'd score the jackpot only.
그래요. 그래서 여기서는 이렇게 쓰고 있으니까 한마디로 복권이 당첨이 됐다는 건데 not once, not twice, not thrice.
4 times.
4 times, my goodness. So that first expression there is score the lottery jackpot. 자, 그 다음에는 총 상금. So that brought the total prize money to over $2.7 million.
Yes, and when something brings the total to something else, it's when we add it to whatever we have before,
Yeah.
and then we get a new number, a bigger number, the total.
Yes, exactly. The total prize money, 상금 prize money인데요. 그 앞에 bring이 왜 나왔느냐. So something, 가장 최근에 받은 돈이 이게 더해짐으로 인해서 총 상금이 얼마가 됐다라는 뜻입니다. So this latest win, 마지막으로 이겼던 게 얼마였어요? What was the prize money for the latest
$1
win?
million on the 3rd of May.
$1 million brought his total prize money to $2.7 million. 뭐 예를 들자면은 우리가 기부를 할 때, this donation brings the total to 10 million won 이런 식으로 표현을 할 수 있겠죠. 그래서 마지막으로 기부한 돈이 마지막으로 낸 아니면 받은 돈이 이런 총 상금 얼마로 이어졌다. That's what it means.
I wish it was me.
Yeah.
Can I ask a question
Yes.
to Paul?
Oh,
I heard
yes.
you say on the trot.
Oh, yes.
What does
that's a
that
good one.
mean?
Okay, if you do something on the trot, it means you do it in succession or quick succession.
Okay.
So it's the idea of a horse trotting, meaning moving fast. So
Is that a
you-
British
It's
term?
a British
Have you
English
heard that
expression.
before?
I've heard it, yeah.
You've heard
Yeah.
it before, okay.
Nothing to do with singing, 트로트?
If you get a bit of you can do it on the trot. But
No?
No, it's
Okay.
more about horses and
Okay.
movement and continuing. So we talk about, my team won 3 games on the trot. Means 3 games in succession.
Okay.
맞아요. 네, 연달아서라는 뜻으로 on the trot라는 표현을 써주셨는데 영국식 표현이에요. 그러니까 지금 아까 이름이 뭐였죠? 데이비드 서킨 씨가요. 올해가 아니라 지난 한 9개월 동안에만 3번 연속 복권 당첨이 됐습니다. 그리고 그 전에 한 10년 전에 한 번 더 당첨이 됐어서 총 4번인데 이렇게 짧은 시간 안에 in such a short span of time he won the lottery again and again and again. So you could say it's kind of consecutively.
Yeah, it feels that way.
It feels like that, yeah.
I have to say, this is the lovely thing about having three newscasters from different countries,
Yeah.
is that we don't understand each other.
No, we
so
don't.
we get to ask more questions.
This is what English
This
is like,
is
right?
fantastic. Yes, indeed. 자, 그러면은 우리 역시나 제가 선창을 하면은요, 여러분이 이 표현 두 가지 다시 반복해 주시는 겁니다. 자, 복권에 당첨되다. Score the lottery jackpot. 그리고 총 합계를 얼마로 만들다. Bring the total to 얼마? 네. 네, 얼마까지? 네, 완벽했습니다.
그리고 on the trot.
Fantastic. Well, here's the headline one more time. A Canadian man has scored his third lottery jackpot in less than 9 months, marking his fourth major win overall and bringing his total prize money to over $2.7 million.
Legendary Grammy Award winner Barbara Streisand is set to release her 37th album, featuring 11 duets with superstars including Paul McCartney, Bob Dylan, Sam Smith, Seal, Josh Groban, Mariah Carey, and Ariana Grande.
다수의 그래미상을 수상한 전설적인 가수 바브라 스트라이샌드가 37번째 앨범을 발표합니다. 이 앨범에는 폴 맥카트니, 법 딜런, 샘 스미스, Seal, 조시 그로번, 마라이어 캐리, 아리아나 그란데 등 슈퍼스타들과 함께 부른 노래 11곡이 수록될 예정입니다. Wow, talk about a duet album packed with legends. Tell us more.
Are there any Barbara Streisand fans in the audience?
I'm sure they are a bit
No,
very shy.
me neither.
shy.
Me neither. Don't
I
worry.
love Barbara Streisand.
I know Sue would probably like
I love Barbara
Streisand.
Streisand.
Paul, do you like
brilliant.
Yes.
She's great.
Oh, really? Okay.
What do you have against Barbara?
Let's agree to disagree.
She's fine.
Okay,
She's
okay.
fine. I prefer, out of this list, I prefer Paul McCartney, Bob Dylan, and Seal. I like Seal, Mariah Carey.
All right. Well, tell us about the duets album.
Well, this album, this is a follow-up to Streisand's 2014 album, which was called Partners. This one is called The Secret of Life, Partners Volume 2. It will be released on June 27th. The article that I read had a statement from Barbara Streisand, and she mentioned that she always loved singing duets. So duets are when there's two people. If you see do in
Yeah.
English, usually it's two. With gifted artists, she mentioned. So if someone's gifted, they are very, very talented. If we say that a child is gifted, it means they're very smart. They're smarter than other kids in their age group. And Barbara Streisand also mentioned that she hopes all the listeners enjoy listening to their collaborations as much as they enjoyed recording them. So collaboration is an interesting word. It means to work together, and it's a real the modern usage. You'll hear collab. So two artists will do a collab, or two clothing companies, often they'll do collabs, or famous artists will do a collab with a clothing company.
Absolutely. 듀엣 얘기하면서 이제 둘이서 같이 노래를 부르니까 듀엣다 했는데 when you sing alone, then it would be a solo album or a solo performance, right? And the word solo in Korea is sometimes mistakenly used for a person who doesn't have a partner. Which is wrong, I think. Am I right? What do you think?
We would say single.
Single, right. So there's a difference between
Right.
solo and single.
Solo just means you do something by yourself.
But that doesn't mean you're not in a relationship.
Right.
아, 그래요. 우리는 가끔 솔로다. 나 솔로예요. 라고 하지만 엄밀히 따지면 영어식으로는 좀 틀린 표현이에요. 솔로는 뭔가 공연을 한다든지 앨범을 낸다든지 뭐 무대에 올라간다든지 이런 독무대, 뭐 독단적으로 뭔가 할 때 솔로라는 단어를 많이 쓰고 연애를 안 하고 있을 때 파트너가 없으면 single이라는 단어를 쓰죠. So what's that Beyonce song? All the single ladies? Not all the solo ladies.
Put a ring on it.
Put a ring on. Is that the song?
That's the
Oh,
song,
that's the
yeah.
song. Okay, there you go. Put a ring on it. No,
Yeah.
no, sorry.
I like to use it for when Harrison Ford is single,
What?
because he's Han Solo.
Ajay Gaga.
So sorry, everybody.
Can we turn Paul's mic off?
Yes,
In English, that's called a dad joke.
아재 개그, dad joke. 좋았습니다.
And it's a Star Wars joke, so it's kind of a nerd joke.
Yeah, I love that actually. Duet가 나왔는데, of course, Barbara Streisand is a legendary singer. She's also an actor, but tell us about legendary.
Right, so you can use this for people or for things. So if someone is legendary, they're very famous. People admire them for what they've done. And I think the key to when you use the word legendary, people talk about them. People talk about them for a long time. People talk about them as if they're a legend. And we use that term as well. Like the old word of legend is traditional stories that are passed down from generation to generation. And, they may or may not be true, but people talk about them. So nowadays, when we say someone is a legend, they're very famous and they've done something in a particular field. And usually like it's over a long period of time. So sports, music, acting, writing, the best one that I would say is when you compare someone being legendary and someone being famous, there's a slight difference. So I think everybody here, do we have any basketball fans? Any basketball fans at all?
Oh, Shane there. Shane is...
And I think everybody has heard of Michael Jordan. Who? Am I right about that?
Who's that?
You know who he is. He's a legendary basketball player. But how about this? I like to quiz Sue on sports. Do you know who
Great.
Tyrese Halliburton is? Shea
Sure.
Gilgeous-Alexander? No, don't lie. Do you know who they are?
No idea. Sorry.
No, they're very famous basketball players. One of them is about to win the NBA championship
Oh, okay.
next week. They're going to lead their team. But if you don't like basketball, you may have not heard of Tyrese Halliburton. But everybody has heard of Michael Jordan. So he's legendary.
Okay. So the biggest difference between being legendary and famous is...
Famous you might just be famous right now.
Yeah.
But if you're
And legendary is,
legendary...
like,
Yeah,
really,
and
really famous.
Yeah, and I feel like you have done something over a longer period of time. And people talk about you for a long period of time. Even
Right.
after your playing career is finished,
Right.
people are still talking about you.
그냥 유명한 거 famous랑 그다음엔 legendary, 전설적이다는 약간의 급 차이가 있다고 생각할 수 있겠네요.
Well, like we call you sorry, Paul, but we call you a living legend.
I was just about to do that.
Who calls me that? No, come on, guys.
살아있는 전설.
아이고 왜 그러세요?
Yes. But this is really good. Living legend is very specific. It means they're still around.
Yeah,
We can
yeah.
talk about legends of basketball or legends of the music era. Barbara Streisand is a living legend.
She is.
Whereas Freddie Mercury, who was the lead singer of Queen, he passed away a long time ago. He's just a legend.
That's right. 살아있는 전설 할 때는 a living legend 이렇게 표현을 하죠. 근데 우리가요 보통 legend랑 같이 myths and legends 이런 단어를 붙이기도 해요. 신화 얘기할 때 그렇죠. 그런데 myth의 사용법과 legend의 사용법은 또 좀 다릅니다. With legend we have legendary as we said, but with myths it's a little bit different when you say, oh, that's a myth, that's an urban myth. That means it's a misunderstanding. 오해라는 의미가 있을 수 있고요. myth는 내지는 또 굉장히 신비롭다. It's very mythical. 그러면 약간 정확히 알 수는 없는 오묘한 그런 느낌도 있을 수 있죠.
And tell me if I'm wrong, Sue, but with your British accent, I heard a little legendary.
Oh,
But in North America, it'd be definitely a legendary.
okay. How do you say it, Paul?
Legendary.
Legendary.
There you
So
go,
hear,
yeah.
It's almost
Oh.
3 syllables. But
Yeah, the pronunciation's
in North America, it's
different.
definitely 4 syllables. It's legendary.
그래요.
You emphasize that part.
우리 오늘 셰인 선생님이랑 레이 선생님은 그 North American accent, 북미권의 악센트를 쓰시고 또 폴 선생님과 저는 영국식 악센트를 써서 비교하는 재미도 오늘 있네요. 가끔씩은 강세가 달라지고 아니면은 stress, syllable도 달라질 수 있고, 네, 단어가 아예 다를 때도 있고요.
And the dictionary, it supports that. It
Yeah,
says
yeah.
legendary, yeah.
Exactly. Oh,
Interesting.
legend. How do you say it again?
Legendary.
Legendary.
The
and
correct
legendary.
way.
And
How
legendary.
do you say dalgy in English? I say
Strawberry.
strawberry. You say strawberry.
Yes. Different.
yeah.
Yeah. Well,
all fine.
speaking of food, how do you say 가지 in English? You know the purple fruit? Not fruit, vegetable.
Eggplant.
Aubergine. And how about the green one, Elbag?
Is that zucchini?
Courgette.
courgette. 단어가 완전히 달라질 때도 있습니다.
Incorrect English. Correct English.
Excuse me, we came first. The British came first.
Those are all borrowed
Why
from French.
do you make
Those are all
these
borrowed
words?
from French.
Okay,
I
it's not a
don't
right
get
wrong
it.
thing. It's apples and oranges.
It's really fascinating about English because English is a mongrel language.
What does that mean?
A mongrel is a dog that has no breed. It's not a poodle, it's not a sheepdog.
잡종이잖아요. 보통 그래요.
Yeah, because when you look at the history of the UK, we were invaded and invaded and invaded. First it was the Vikings, then it was the Goths from Germany, then it was the Romans, then it was the French, which means all the different languages mixed up all together. It's why we say pork for pig meat,
Yeah.
because it comes from the French. We also say beef, coming from boeuf from the French.
But we
there's
say chicken and chicken.
all right. I'll go this time, shall
Which
I?
goes to show that there's, loads of different influences.
From all sorts of places.
Yes,
and
that's right.
it's why pronunciation is such a big deal, because even I'm sure within Canada as well, you go to one province and they say something one way,
Yeah.
you go to another, they say it the other way. It's the same in the UK.
그래요. 정말 영어를 표현하는 방식 중에 mongrel language라고 하는 것도 새롭네요. mongrel이라는 것 자체는 그런 이제 잡종의 개, 강아지 얘를 얘기하지만 영어가 그만큼 다양한 영향을 받았다. 독일어권, 프랑스어권 그 외에도 많은 영향을 받았고 요즘에는 심지어 한국어에서 온 표현들도 영어 사전에 들어갔잖아요. 그런 식으로 이제 영어라는 언어는 굉장히 다양한 것들을 혼합한 언어다. And it's changing every day.
Exactly. If you talk to a vet, they will tell you that a mongrel cat or dog are the strongest, the healthiest.
Okay.
And that's why
Good.
English is such a healthy language,
That's good
because
to know.
it's been mixed up with everything else.
I love that. 자, 그러면은 우리가 이렇게 표현 legendary 하면서 여기 mongrel language까지 갔는데 다시 돌아와서 this album will be featuring many different singers. 이 표현도 같이 한번 볼까요? Feature.
So in music, it means that another artist is joining the main artist on a song, but so you can think of the feature, you can even call them that. The feature is a special guest performer on the song, but that particular song will be on the main artist's album. So in this case, we have all these different superstars that are going to sing songs with Barbra Streisand, but those songs are only going to be on Barbra Streisand's album. So
Right,
usually a featured artist, they'll either sing or rap one verse, or perhaps they'll sing the chorus as well.
Exactly. 우리도 피처링이라고 하죠. 외래어 그대로 써서. 근데 영어로는 F 발음입니다. featuring 줄여서 FEAT dot 이렇게 많이도 쓰는데 함께 한다는 뜻이에요. 누가 포함이 되어 있다라는 의미로 Barbra Streisand's album will be featuring many famous musicians like Paul McCartney and Mariah Carey, etc., etc. So today's show features your favorite English teachers, Paul, Shane, and Ray, I hope.
And the main presenter is Choi Soo-jin.
Thank you. And I hope that later you'll say, that Wednesday's show, it was legendary. Right. 자, 그러면 다시 한번 제가 선창을 할 테니까요. 여러분이 표현 반복해 주세요. Legendary. 네, 북미권 발음으로 한번 셰인 선생님이
Legendary.
Legendary.
이렇게. 그 다음에 feature. Fantastic. 다시 한번 제가 읽어보겠습니다. Legendary Grammy Award winner Barbra Streisand is set to release her 37th album featuring 11 duets with superstars including Paul McCartney, Bob Dylan, Sam Smith, Seal, Josh Groban, Mariah Carey, and Ariana Grande.
The Seoul International Book Fair, Korea's largest literary event, has opened, featuring over 530 publishers, writers, and book-related organizations from 17 countries.
국내 최대의 책 축제인 2025 서울 국제 도서전이 17개국 530여 개 출판사와 출판 관련 단체 등이 참여한 가운데 어제 개막했습니다. Alright, tell us more.
Yeah, so this year's theme is The Last Resort, and they're encouraging attendees to find their own sorts of reliance at the book fair and an increasingly harsh reality, the organizers said. My understanding is that they're anticipating about 150,000 visitors for this fair, and tickets are very difficult to come by. In fact, I've heard that they're also sold out already. I actually went onto the webpage yesterday to check because I was interested in taking my family, and yeah, it didn't really have anything on how to get tickets through the internet or saying that you could just get it there either. I think it might literally be sold out.
Yeah, I mean, it is being held at the COEX in Samsung,
Yes.
which is normally sort of open to the public for other exhibitions and conventions. I don't know about this case, as you said, but we do know that a lot of publishers and people will be there. It's underway right now as we speak. It's going to be open until the 22nd. And the theme, you mentioned in English, it's the last resort.
Yes.
In Korean, it's 믿을 구석. So it's not a literal translation.
Okay, yeah.
이번에 주제가요. 믿을 구석인데 영어로는 The Last Resort입니다. 그래서 직역은 아니지만 어떻게 보면 그 책이 우리의 Last Resort다. 우리의 믿을 구석이다. 뭐 이렇게 해석을 하면 될 것 같죠?
Yeah, last resort is kind of like a final plan. Like if worst comes to worst,
그러니까요.
then this is what you can rely on. Like this is the floor.
Exactly. 네. 그 Last Resort가 직역을 하면은 최후의 수단 이거지만 그렇게 해석하지 않고 원래 우리말 제목이 주제가 먼저 있었겠죠. 이게 우리나라에서 하는 거니까 믿을 구석. 그다음에 그거를 아마 또 의역해서 영어로 바꾼 것 같습니다. 왜냐하면 믿을 구석 이거를 영어로 바꾸는 게 The corner that you can trust 말 안 되잖아요. 그래서 아마 좀 다양하게 생각을 하다가 한 게 아닐까 추측을 해봅니다.
And of course, because Han Gang won the Nobel Prize last year in literature,
Yeah.
That's obviously brought a lot of attention to literature in Korea, and probably one of the reasons that everyone is
Yeah.
talking about and wanting to go to this event.
Yeah, I don't know if you've watched the Celine Song movie Past Lives, which is an American movie starring Korean people about Koreans immigrating to the US and so forth. But the plot basically is two children, they were friends in Korea, first of all, and then the girl moves to, I think, Canada or America. And the reason for that is because she says, because in Korea, you can never win a Nobel Literature Prize. But this was obviously made before Han Gang won the Nobel Literature Prize. And she goes, you have to go to the Americas or Europe or some other country.
Western country.
Yeah, if you want to succeed as a writer. And so she goes, and many, many years later, she gets to meet her first love again, and da-di-da-di-da. But the thing about literature and how Korea has become such a hub now.
Yeah.
It's, sort of the place to be right now if you're into writing and books and things like that. All right, what's a literary event, Jason?
So literary is related to literature, and literature, of course, is like writing and reading. When we have an event, we're talking about something that is organized, that is put together. So we're talking about something that's been put together for the purposes of reading and writing. So there's a lot of book makers and publishers and other, organizations related to that.
So 문학 is literature, as we all know. 그런데 문학이라는 이 형용사는 literary. How do you spell that word?
Literary is Literary.
문학 행사라고 우리는 이제 해석을 물론 합니다만 literary가 형용사라는 거 기억해 주세요. Literary event. And what about book-related organization?
So this is actually very similar. So when you say book-related, then you're basically saying literary. Right? So it's basically the same thing, but it says organizations. So in this organizations, we're talking about, once again, like publishers, companies that make books. It could be companies that promote books. It could be different things for marketing, but just anything that is book-related. related, something to do, similar to or surrounding literary things.
Yeah, and this is just a characteristic of the English language. It doesn't like to use the same expression twice in the
Yeah.
same sentence, or at least back to back.
Too close to each other. Yeah,
Yeah.
We would say that that is redundant. So if we're using the same word over and over and over again, and you hear the same word, it doesn't sound very pleasant.
Yeah.
So we try to use different words that describe the same thing, just to give it some variety.
This is the big difference between Korean and English. Because in Korean, it's fine. We can say 문학 애호가들이 문학 행사에 초청이 돼서 이번 문학 축제에 가게 됐습니다. 문학에 관한 모든 것을 it's fine. 해도 돼요. 계속 여러 번 문학 해도 괜찮은데 영어에서는 literary 한 번 나왔으면 이번엔 그 단어 피해.
Yeah.
그래서
yeah.
book related라는 대체되는 단어를 쓰고 있는 건데 의미는 사실 비슷하죠. 책과 관련됐다라는 거니까요. 자, book-related organization은 그런데 어쨌든 이제 어떤 단체인데 책과 관련된 단체니까 출판 관련 단체겠죠. 이렇게 해석을 해보겠습니다. 자, 다시 한번 제가 읽어볼게요. The Seoul International Book Fair, Korea's largest literary event, has opened, featuring over 530 publishers, writers, and book-related organizations from 17 countries. Let's move on to the second headline.
Thousands of university students in the UK have been caught misusing chatbots and other artificial intelligence tools in recent years, while instances of traditional plagiarism have significantly declined, according to The Guardian.
영국에서 최근 몇 년 사이 수천 명의 대학생들이 챗봇을 비롯한 인공지능 도구를 이용해 부정행위를 저지른 사실이 공식 확인됐습니다. 한편 전통적 수법의 표절은 뚜렷한 감소 추세인 것으로 나타났습니다. misuse 자체는 뭐 남용하다인데요. 이걸 제대로 사용하지 않았다라고도 볼 수 있겠고 좀 더 나아가서는 부정행위까지 저질렀다라고 해석을 할 수 있을 텐데 일단은 컨텍스트가 필요할 것 같아요. Tell us about this. What's going on?
Yeah, so a survey of academic integrity violations found that almost 7,000 proven cases of cheating using AI tools
There was cheating.
Yeah, in 2023-24, that's the equivalent of 5.1 for every 1,000 students. So you're talking about half a percentage.
Yeah.
But you know, that's still a lot when you go from to a macro level of how many students that there actually are. And once again, this is proven cases, so who knows how many other people were doing it, but simply were not caught.
그래요. 치팅과 관련이 있다라고 한 거 보니까 그러면은 부정행위가 맞겠네요. 우리가 이제 콩글리시로 커닝이라고
Yeah.
하는 그 단어가 영어에서는 부정행위라는 의미로 전혀 쓰이지 않아요. 영어에서는 cheating, cheating. 그래서 7,000 cases of cheating이 적발이 됐다고 합니다. 이거는 1,000명의 학생당 한 5명마다 이렇게 cheating, 부정행위를 했다라는 뜻이 될 텐데요. 그게 어떤 부정행위냐면은 using AI.
Yeah, of course, that became a big thing a couple of years ago. And I'm sure there's a lot of great uses for AI, but at the same time, this couldn't be one of the problems.
Yeah, I imagine this would have something to do with writing reports, for example, or summarizing something, because it's really easy to do with AI chatbots. And yet, you're not putting any of your input into it.
Yeah, I would imagine that this is probably similar if we went back, let's say, 60, 70 years ago, and when the first calculator, the first pocket calculators were out, then I'm sure some people might have used those to cheat on math tests. So
yeah.
now at the same time, now, you know, some people are finding ways to use AI to cheat on school projects or tests. So it seems that there are positive things to some of these developments, but at the same time, some negative situations too.
Exactly. 또 치트라는 게 언제 좀 재미있게 쓰이냐면은 다이어트 할 때요. cheat day.
Yeah.
그러니까 다른 날은 엄격하게 식단을 지키다가 요 날만큼은 그냥 아무렇게나 자유롭게 먹어도 되는 그런 걸 또 cheat day라고 하기도 하죠.
Yeah, basically like a day off
Yeah,
that
yeah.
you're taking away from your diet. So you're going to follow it stringently, but one day you're going to take off.
That's right. Going back to schools, though, you're not supposed to cheat at all. You will be caught. If you're caught doing something, what does that mean?
Yeah, if you're caught, then it means that someone has found out about something that you were probably trying to do without being noticed. So if you're doing something that's either illegal or something that's immoral, then you don't want other people to find out about it. You
Yeah.
want it to be done in secret and successfully done in secret. But
Yes.
yeah, if you've been caught doing something, then someone has found out and you're probably going to get punished.
네. 적발되는 거를 get caught or be caught doing something 이라고 합니다. And what about instances of something?
Instances would be like a situation or a time, a moment where something happened,
Yeah.
or some situation where it could be like one of several different times.
Yeah,
as
or
an
a case.
instance. Yeah, or a case.
사례라는 뜻이 있죠. Instances of plagiarism, 표절 사례가 예전에 비해서 많이 줄어드는 반면에 AI 관련된 cheating은 늘어났다고 합니다. 다시 한번 읽어볼게요. Thousands of university students in the UK have been caught misusing chatbots and other artificial intelligence tools in recent years, while instances of traditional plagiarism have significantly declined, according to The Guardian.
Activists in Venice have launched a series of protests against Amazon founder Jeff Bezos' upcoming wedding, scheduled to take place in the city next week, warning that the event could lead to partial shutdowns of the historic city.
아마존 창업자 제프 베이조스가 다음 주 이탈리아 베네치아에서 결혼식을 올릴 예정인 가운데 베네치아 현지 활동가들은 이 때문에 유서 깊은 도시가 일부 마비될 수 있다며 결혼식 개최 반대 시위를 이어갔습니다. I think we should add the word lavish before wedding here because this is no
Yeah.
ordinary wedding he's planning, right?
No, and certainly they're expecting a lot of very, very rich people.
Yeah.
Perhaps some politicians are possible as well. And because of that, I think they're blocking off a large area. And that's why they're saying that part of the city could be shut down because of that. So certainly tourists and even local residents certainly are going to be going through a lot for that time period.
Yeah, it's not just a day. It's from the 23rd of June to the 28th of June. So it's a long procession almost for the nuptials.
Apparently, already a lot of the top hotels have been booked for the wedding. And not only
makes
that,
sense.
but
Yep.
also like the water taxis, because of course Venice is all the canals and water. So rather than cars. So a lot of the bigger as well as smaller boats, the taxis in the area have already been booked. So even if you're there, it's going to be a lot more difficult to traverse the area because there's not going to be as many water taxis available.
그러네요. 정말 많은 유명 인사들이 하객으로 올 예정이고 그러다 보니까 뭐 호텔이 이미 지금 다 예약이 된 경우들도 있고 그다음에 교통도 마비될 것으로 보이고요. 꽤나 긴 기간 동안에 결혼 행사를 치르기 때문에 그 지역 주민들은 오지 말아라 차라리 이런 얘기를 하고 있습니다. Alright, this is an upcoming event, right?
Yeah, something that is upcoming is coming up, meaning that it hasn't happened yet, but it's going to happen very soon. We often see like movies or TV shows that are coming up or it's upcoming,
Yep.
meaning that it's not on right now, but they're sort of advertising to you, saying that stay tuned, it's coming up, it's going to be soon, so don't go anywhere kind of thing.
그렇죠. Upcoming something 그러면은 곧 있을 다가오는 이라는 뜻인데요. The upcoming wedding. 곧 있을 결혼식. What about partial?
Partial is a similar word to part as the base word. So not fully or everything, but a portion of it,
Yeah.
a percentage of it. I think of something maybe like 20 to 30%. You know, it's going to be a significant amount of something, but not everything. And it might not even be half. But, you know, usually when you're talking about a part of something, it's a significant amount, though. It's not going to be like 1%. It's usually going to be something a little bit bigger.
partial이라는 거는 부분적이다라는 뜻이 있는데 partial shutdowns라고 해서 일부 지역이 마비될 것으로 보입니다. 뭐 다 마비되지는 않겠지만 그렇게 시위도 이어질 수 있고요. 그다음에 이제 결혼 행사 자체가 또 워낙 성대하게 치러질 예정이다 보니까 마비가 될 수 있겠다 이런 얘기입니다. Well, they're going to have 27 outfit changes, apparently. And the budget for this wedding is around $10 million, they say.
That's all?
Is it not much for Jeff Bezos?
Yeah.
But we'll see. We'll see.
I mean, I just hope women after this wedding don't get their expectations too high for their future. I'm glad that we've already had our wedding so that my wife can't say like,
Got it over and done with. Yeah.
Okay, that's the new standard of weddings now.
I don't think most people think they'll have a wedding quite on par with Jeff Bezos.
Yeah.
But you're right. 다시 한번 제가 읽어보겠습니다. Activists in Venice have launched a series of protests against Amazon founder Jeff Bezos' upcoming wedding, scheduled to take place in the city next week, warning that the event could lead to partial shutdowns of the historic city. Let's move on to the next headline.
Newly released footage reveals that U.S. military personnel captured an eerie flying saucer UFO in a remarkable encounter now available to the public.
미군이 비행 접시 모양의 섬뜩한 미확인 비행 물체 UFO를 포착해 이를 촬영한 새로운 영상이 세상에 공개됐습니다. So the video itself was, the footage was taken a couple of years ago, but it's only just been released to the public, right?
Yeah, which often happens
Yes.
with the government situation where they're going to hold things, and now it is public. And yeah, it was taken in the Afghan-Pakistan border. This is back in November of 2020. And it was the military that shot this, and nobody knew about it until now, that after they've released it.
네. 지금 이 촬영 자체는 몇 년 전에 됐었습니다. 지역은 이제 중동 국가 상공이었어요. 아까 얘기한 아프가니스탄과 파키스탄 그 상공에서 촬영이 된 것이었고요. 이걸 한 2년 정도 동안 분석을 했다고 합니다. 그리고 며칠 전에 세상에 공개가 된 것인데 미국 군에서 관리를 하고 있다가 근데 보면은요, flying saucer라고 해서 그게 날아다니는 컵받침 같이 이게 비행 물체 그 모양 동그란 모양이에요. 동글동글 하더라고요. 그거를 이제 우리는 흔히 UFO라고 하지만 미국에서 공식적으로는 UAP라고 하죠. So unidentified anomalous phenomena, but you know more commonly we just call it UFO.
Yeah.
And it's kind of eerie. What's eerie?
Eerie is something that's very mysterious, but the feeling that I get with eerie is perhaps a little bit scary.
Yeah.
So it's going to be a little bit uncomfortable, and it kind of gives you a certain feeling, like it gives you the chills. Maybe like if you're watching a horror movie and, you know, a scene might be eerie because it's dark and gloomy. Maybe they have like the spider webs and, you know, the feel that gives you.
좀 으스스한 느낌이죠. E-E-R-I-E. Eerie. 이 우주비행선 같은 경우 지금 이제 촬영된 우주비행선은요. 일단 원형의 무언가가 이렇게 왼쪽으로 움직이다가 갑자기 방향을 틀어서 오른쪽으로 움직이다가 또 갑자기 방향을 틀어요. 근데 이게 좀 섬뜩하기도 하고 으스스하고 뭐지? 귀신인가? 외계인인가? 하는 생각이 좀 들더라고요. 자, 그다음에 encounter 볼까요?
An encounter is basically a meeting. So something that you've come close to and perhaps you've met or, you know, you've had a connection with.
그래요. encounter라는 거는 만남이에요. 그래서 encounter가 여기서는 어떻게 쓰였냐면은 this encounter with the flying saucer that the military had in the US, it is now available to the public. 처음에 이것을 포착한 것을 encounter라고 표현하고 있습니다. 그게 이제서야 일반 대중에게 공개가 된 거죠. 비행 접시 flying saucer. 다시 한번 제가 읽어보겠습니다. Newly released footage reveals that US military personnel captured an eerie flying saucer UFO in a remarkable encounter, now available to the public. Now let's move on to the next headline.
A German health expert has warned that taking excessively hot showers can lead to a dangerous drop in blood pressure, potentially causing fainting and increasing the risk of serious injury or even death.
지나치게 뜨거운 물로 샤워하면은 혈압이 급격히 떨어지면서 어지럼증이나 실신이 발생해 그로 인한 사고로 부상을 입거나 심하게는 생명까지도 위협받을 수 있다고 독일의 한 건강 전문의가 경고했습니다. Okay, so this is useful advice for people who like hot showers. Be careful.
And certainly if you have low blood pressure as it is, which is typically seen as good, right? Like we think of high blood pressure as leading to heart failure and cardiovascular disease, but in this case, they're talking about low blood pressure. So if you're on the lower end, which is usually safe, but perhaps if you're elderly and you're taking...
It can be quite as dangerous as a high blood pressure, yeah.
Exactly, in a different way. It can cause fainting and certainly other dangerous things as well.
All right, so we're talking about excessively hot temperatures.
Yeah, so excessively hot, not just hot. So maybe if it's like 30 or 31 degrees, then, you know, maybe
Lukewarm.
it's a little bit hot, but
Yeah.
not terribly hot. Maybe if we're talking 40, 45 degrees, then we might be thinking
Yeah.
that is excessively
Very hot.
hot.
Yeah.
It's too hot. So if something is excessive, it's like too much or an unnecessary amount.
Yeah, I think in the middle of winter, we might like to have a really hot shower.
Yeah.
Because it's so cold, obviously. But beware. excessively hot는 지나치게 뜨거운, excessively가 지나치게여서 이렇게 해석하면 되겠고요. drop in blood pressure.
So blood pressure, as I mentioned, a lot of people might have high blood pressure that could be in risk of cardiovascular disease. High blood pressure, meaning that your heart is pumping out blood, but it has to work extra hard because your blood is denser. And if you have low blood pressure or a drop in blood pressure, then it's saying that it's not as dense. So it's more watery. Your blood would be more watery, therefore it's not being pushed as easily, perhaps.
네, blood pressure가 여기서 혈압이고 그 다음에 drop는 떨어지는 거니까요. 혈압 감소겠네요. A drop in blood pressure. 근데 참고로 우리가 이 맥박 잴 때 있잖아요. 그 혈압을 잴 때는 그때는 heart rate라는 표현을 써요. You don't say I'm going to measure my blood pressure. 이렇게 can you?
If you have a blood pressure machine,
Okay.
Then you can. And if you go to most doctor clinics, they'll have that machine that you put your arm into.
Yeah.
You push a button and it gets really tight
Right.
around your bicep. So that will measure your blood pressure.
Okay, 그래요. 알았습니다. 자, 다시 한번 제가 읽어볼게요. A German health expert has warned that taking excessively hot showers can lead to a dangerous drop in blood pressure, potentially causing fainting and increasing the risk of serious injury or even death. Well, that's it for the headlines this morning with Jason.